Good morning, everyone. Happy Good Friday on this April 7th, 2023 garden tour. I thought I would take you on a little walkthrough here. These are my early variety peonies starting to bloom here. So I thought I would take you on a little tour of the peony garden in bloom. These are the early variety blooming peonies, herbaceous peony plants. These are 3-year-old plants in these above ground boxes, and the variety that I'm showing you is the pink Hawaiian coral. So I'm starting in the middle bed, and I will show you an overview first. And I have 4 boxes here, and then the one on the end was the original. And let's just go ahead and start on the very first box, the original box that I put in. These are coral charms which have not bloomed yet. The temperatures fell last night to 38 degrees here in southern Oklahoma. I'm in grow zone 7B. And when the temperatures fall, then the peonies are slower to open, which is good because we had 80-degree weather last week, and that's what really made the pink Hawaiian corals really come open quickly. And once they open, they only bloom once a year, so they were opening a little too quick with the warm weather. So with the cooler temperatures, it's slowing down the other buds, which is nice because that way the bloom time will last a lot longer. This here, the foliage is a little different because this is a peony tree. And I have 2 of the peony trees in here. Here's another one, and you can see the difference of foliage. And I have some vegetables planted in here also, light vegetables. Here's the original one here, pink Hawaiian coral. This is actually a coral charm that opened up a couple days ago, but with the temperatures falling, it has slowed to bloom. But the stems this year on these peony plants are very tall and very thick and strong. And that is a characteristic of a peony plant. But I still have all of these buds to open. This one here is going to be a different variety. It's got a lot of striping in it, and it's very soft like a marshmallow. That is a telltale sign that it will be opening soon. These very large blooms here are a lemon chiffon, and it's an early blooming variety. I have one that opened that I'm going to share with you. This is the second box. And again, these pink Hawaiian corals still have many blooms to come. These little flowers here are called snowdrops. And they only bloom in the early spring, and many of the blooms have already died back. But these are the first to bloom in my garden. They're called snowdrops. And here is the first lemon chiffon. A highly sought after herbaceous peony, and it is truly a very vibrant yellow, and I hope that comes through on the iPhone here. It has yellow stamens in the middle, very fragrant. It's on a really nice tall stem. It is a semi-double bloom. And here are some more that will open, and quite large. quite large blooms. This is the first time it has bloomed, and I put this in. I believe this is a 2-year plant, so I'm very grateful that it even has any blooms on it. Some peony plants can take up to 3 years to bloom. So many more buds to open, and I have already cut about 2 dozen stems. I've given away many bouquets already for Easter. This plant here is a young plant, or it had problems starting off, and it has a side bud, so it is a later variety. And this is a side bud here, meaning it will bloom a bloom right here. But since it's so small, I would like its energy to build back into the root and build a better, healthier root. So what I like to do on these young plants is I like to take the side buds off, and I just bend them over and they come right off. The earlier varieties that have already bloomed, many of the early blooming varieties do not produce side buds. It's only usually the mid and mid-late to late varieties. This variety here is a mid to mid-late variety, and it has already produced a side bud. Here's another side bud here on one stem. And I would have probably, here's a side bud that's actually larger than the original bud. And that's what happens sometimes on a young plant, is it will tend to put more energy into the blooms, and then they're not quite as big on a young plant. So that's why I like to keep the side buds clipped off for at least the first 3 years. Here's some more side buds. This is a really nice, probably a mid to mid-late variety, and it does not have any side buds. Coral charm blooming here. And here is a pink Hawaiian coral. So you can kind of see the difference in color. And the pink Hawaiian coral has a little bit of a jaggedy bloom to it here. And the pink Hawaiian coral will come out smooth on all their petals. Look at the pink in this one. Very pink, beautiful. Just a beautiful peony plant. I did put down bone meal on the soil surface in mid-February. We had a lot of rain, and then the 1st of March, I put down a 10-10-10 fertilizer, and I really believe it helped these plants grow and put on more blooms than ever. Strong stems, big buds, just big, nice blooms. This has one stem, and it produced a side bud, and it's a little late to take that one off. So I wish I would have caught that earlier. I would have definitely taken that off. Although the one bloom it's going to give me, or actually 2 blooms, is quite large, and the stem is very large. And it is on one stem, so I'm hoping that this lemon chiffon will actually grow more eyes at the end of this season. And I will not cut, very, very important, I will not cut this stem down. What I will do is I will cut it at the first set of petals here. So I will cut this very short and allow this plant to have, to photosynthesize, meaning leaving all the greens, as much green on it as possible, so it can send its energy back into that root and produce me a healthier root. And also, if you see smaller buds on a plant, so here's another young plant, only has 2 stems, and it is producing a side bud. So this one is early enough to take off. So now it doesn't have to produce so much energy on these 2 little stems to produce a bud. So what I was saying is, if on a young plant, if you see a bud and it looks like it's dry, it just doesn't look healthy, and it's on a very young plant like this, the stems are not real healthy. I only see a few stems on it. What I would do, here's a nice bud, but this bud here, same plant, is not really producing much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that off and allow this plant to put more energy back into the root, and possibly allow this one to go ahead and bloom a nice little flower. And I will finish up the tour where we started. These gorgeous above ground boxes. I hope everyone has a wonderful Easter. And as the peonies all come flush, I will be sharing the other varieties with you. Happy Easter.